What's the single most important item in your home that has a value of $1 or less? A ratty teddy bear passed down from my much older brothers to me is the only item I have that survived my insane childhood. My collection of old dog tags. Literally dogs. I have all my four-legged dog tags since I was 9. I'm 54 now. I have it in my will to be buried with these. A best brother in the world pin from my brother who passed away. He gave it to me when he was 6. Edit. Thanks everyone, it means a lot. It was a few years ago and I've made peace. I hope he's happy. For all you still suffering, I hope you get through it. It gets better. The book that my grandma used to read to me. It's worthless. Wasn't even listed on Goodreads until I added it. But she died in 2005, the day after my 8th birthday, and remembering her voice reading it is one of the clearest memories I have. Would definitely save it in a fire. A matchstick. I had a door that was sagging in my house due to the screw over time wearing a larger hole in the wall. And after some research I found a tip that shoving a matchstick with the tip broken off inside and a dab of glue could make the hole smaller. That matchstick was worth its weight in gold. So about $1. After it helped me fix a huge annoyance. My son found a rock on the way home from school in kindergarten. We were walking home through this park we always cut through, and he grabbed the rock and fell in love with it. It just looked like mud to me, but who cares, he loved it. When we got home I helped him wash it off in the sink and it was black and kinda bluish. He said it was awesome and then gave it to me. It's one of my most precious things in the world to me. There's a picture of my wife and I with our adopted daughter. The picture was taken when she was around 13 or so, but we didn't adopt her until she was 16. When we took, it was just us and a kid we kind of knew from church. It's so cool to look back on and see how far we've come. Edit. Thanks for the awards and the kind comments, but I can promise you, we've gotten way more out of her living with us than she has. She's an amazing human being. If you'd like to read the story, check the comments below. A rock shaped like a heart. My fiancée and I took a trip to Poland and Greece. I bought her a heart-shaped rock from a salt mine in Poland. Didn't cost $1. But at a red sand beach in Greece 4 days later, she found a rock that was shaped perfectly like a heart. This one was free. Both rocks now sit next to each other in our house we just bought. Also, one rock is dark and the other red. I so happen to have red hair and she has dark hair. She found the red heart rock for free and I bought the salt rock. Handwritten letters from my grandmother who passed away a few years ago. While it is sad to see her handwriting get progressively worse for each letter at the end, it is nice to have something that was that close to her. I have them stored in a small box and it always goes into our evacuation bag during fire season. I got this complimentary little webcam cover that slides back and forth over the camera lens on my laptop. It's saved me from making a fool of myself on Zoom many times now. I have an old kitchen knife that's probably worth like 25 cents. But through some mysterious power of the universe it cuts better than any knife I've ever used. Meats, veggies, bread, cheese. It doesn't matter. This thing glides through it all with ease and has never been sharpened. Easily my most important kitchen item. Edit. Here's a picture of it. The branding on the blade says Sears Flame Freeze, Vanadium Stainless. Which I never bothered to check until someone asked. If you can find one, get it. I swear by this, bad Larry. When I was a very small kid, and we were very poor, my parents bought me a small teddy bear. That teddy bear is now more than 20 years old but is the most precious gift I have. Nail file with the bit that gets the grit out of your nails. Dad's straw gardening hat. It's torn and worn. But he died 2 years ago and it reminds me of him when I wear it. A single post-it note folded into a paper airplane with the words, "Will you be my boyfriend?" And 2 checkboxes labeled, "Yes," and "Yes, he's my husband now." I have to take pills for tension headaches or I can barely function. I get really dizzy. One pill costs $1. So when a tension headache flares up and I'm dizzy and sick feeling, there is no better dollar spent than on that pill. I have a church organ in my house that I got for free when a church in another state couldn't find an organist and gave up the organ. I minored in music in college and am an organist. So it's probably the most important, less than $1 item I own. The Donovan. It's a $1 bill with a picture of ex-UF basketball coach Billy Donovan taped over the president. It was a single dollar a friend and I would pass back and forth that we would bet on different things. It's a trophy we have passed back and forth over the last 20 years. It's an item that has kept us in touch. I have a heart-shaped rock that is about the size of a quarter. My son gave it to me when he was 3 and told me to keep it forever. I have it in my back pocket daily. I have one of the bullet casings from my grandfather's military funeral from the 21-gun salute. I don't really know its value. But I got it for free. My mother, cousins, aunts, uncles, and I on that side of the family each received one. Edit. Thanks for the silver, kind stranger. My dog Ziggy. I found him in a box outside of a liquor store. He was 6-week pit bull covered on mange. I took him home, bathed him twice a day every day for weeks to get the mange to go away. 4 years later he's the best boy. With a full beautiful coat. I got this one for free. So I'm just gonna say this one. A piece of clay. The clay specifically has my dead cat's paw print in it. So I'd say I can answer this with the clay. My journal. My daughter made me a pencil holder out of a soup can and construction paper that looks like a cat. It's been on my desk for 20 years, she's long gone from the house living her life, but every time I look at it I see the 9-year-old that made it. One specific screw. It has emotional significance. During our first official date with my GF, I got a flat tire because of that random screw. I had never changed a tire before in my life and I was afraid I'd make a fool of myself in front of her. But it all worked out well and she was super impressed. Next day, when I took my car to the shop to patch the hole, I asked them to return me the screw just for the happy memory. On the 4th of July, my sister and dad found a kitten in our barn. He was tiny and looked like he was on death's front door. He ended up losing most of his hair and had to go through several rounds of antibiotics. Today, he's a happy, healthy, and spoiled boy. His hair grew back and he has such a silly personality. We are so thankful we found Alec that day. He adds so much spice to our life and plays and cuddles with our pit mix. To us he's priceless. But he was free when we found him. Edit. Thanks for my first silver. Kind stranger. My glasses were free with my insurance, so they're definitely the most important thing in my house. My antidepressants. Free prescriptions, baby. Cheesecloth. It's one of those items that cost next to nothing and you never think you'll use. But my God, do I use a lot of cheesecloth. My now husband and I went on our first date, which was supposed to be coffee and ended up being a 7 hours amazing chat session. My husband is not super affectionate or sentimental. Recently I found his parking meter receipt from that date. Small container of crazy glue. Kid broke her toy. No problem. Crazy glue. That shit indirectly fixes tears. Man. Fucking tears. Beside table has a broken leg? Fuck it. Crazy glue. Wife's favorite ornament fell and broke in a few pieces. You guessed it, motherfuckers. Crazy glue. Got a nasty cut? Well, I'd use a bandage. But people with more balls most likely use crazy glue. Duct tape is runner-up. Although for $1 or less you may have to settle with the cheap knockoff called duct tape. It would probably either be my own life or those cheap charging cables that you can buy in convenience stores.